All right, welcome to the inaugural podcast episode from the lab. So we're the owners, founders, creators, all the fucking things. Here to just talk about our experience as personal trainers, building this thing, and just what we've set out to do with really the software that we're starting this with. But we hope to do it, to build more than that, to just really help personal trainers more than anything. That's how I started. I know that's how you started, at least as a strength coach, with your first gig was with Mr. Lauren Landau, right?
It was. I did start with Lauren right out of college. Helped out with some combine training back then, and then excuse my voice.
He doesn't usually sound this raspy, like he's a wannabe country singer.
I know. I know it sounds like I finished a pack of cigarettes last night, but that was not the case. But yeah, I started with down at LP, went from there, and then spent some time where we met each other at Lifetime. Learned some really awesome lessons down there, but really learned how hard it is to be a personal trainer. Really learned how stressful it is to be a personal trainer when it comes to just the grind that the corporate life kind of puts you in, and then had some more game face and opportunities with a guy named Venture Jordan, running some programs for him and helping him with his combine stuff, and then going out and starting my own company with my other partner, Adam McLaughlin, and started Back to Performance and Wellness, which is my baby now, and this is the second baby.
The second baby.
Child number 2.
But what I think would be fun, and you alluded a lot to like the struggles that personal trainers face, and I think that was really what inspired us. We worked together for, I don't know, we were at almost 2 years around there with Lifetime, and then obviously stayed really close after that. And I think that was kind of the inspiration. We really just wanted to start working on a project together, and we originally set out to do like a course for personal trainers to kind of relate our experience in the gym and also relate it to a little bit online, but really just help personal trainers become better coaches, and kind of eliminate some of those struggles that we know that we had in the gym. So that was kind of our original intention, and it eventually morphed into the lab and into this software as kind of the first product that we wanted to bring to the table. And we'll get into that evolution, but again, you alluded to just like the problems that personal trainers face. Like what did you encounter as a PT for the first time, especially going from, like, you started at Landau, where I think like they brought the clients in, and then when you go to Lifetime, like, it's on you.
Yeah, at LP I was mainly just an intern at that point. I did get hired, but I pretty quickly realized how hard it was to start off as an independent, which is what our course also talks about a lot. Is like kind of transitioning from, hey, how do you get started in this industry? And like where I decided to get started was Lifetime. To an extent when it comes to the sales, when it comes to growing a business, when it comes to being able to grow and develop, learn how to coach younger trainers and coaches. My managerial experience there also really got me thinking about the things where there's this disconnect between the strength industry, the strength and conditioning industry, and the performance side of things, and the business side of things. So a lot of times there's a big disconnect. So you really learn programming and connection, and these are very important lessons, especially in strength and conditioning. You spend a lot of time with young people and high-level athletes, and then you transition to somewhere like Lifetime, where you have to learn how to motivate. You have to learn how to connect with normal people, and you have to learn how to take someone that might not have the education or experience that I was used to in a different background, and teach them how to be great coaches. And I think that's something we're really passionate about, is helping coaches be better when it comes to their ability to learn how to program, how to communicate, how to grow their business, how to have balance. Because it's very hard, and a lot of the bottlenecks that I see in training as someone that runs a facility, like a lot of times we spread ourselves too thin and we take too many clients that back-to-back times, you start getting run down just because you have so many demands to be able to, I don't know, from like the last couple of years when we first started Factum, you're taking every session because you have to. And not being able to scale past the hours that you can give is a real problem with coaches. And I think it's like a really big bottleneck. So the idea of being able to still talk to my athletes that go away for the summer or come back for the summer and are gone all school year, or being able to talk to my clients that travel for business, or being able to continue to coach these people that are no longer physically present is a huge boost for my business. But being able to do that in a way where it doesn't take away from what I can give to them and my ability to program the way I want to program, which is a huge limitation I saw when I was at Lifetime, was how inefficient the programs that they used were, how hard it was to even simply write workouts because of the very specific ways you had to type in workouts, the terrible form videos that they had, and then just how inefficient it was. It would take forever to write like a week-long program. And a lot of times I would just default to, for a while I would just handwrite my programs, and I got to the point where I was just texting my programs because it's just so much easier, even though it's nowhere near as good of an experience for my clients. So being able for us to create a product that is reflective of the skill set we have, that allows me to see more analytics, allows me to communicate with them more simply and easily with better boundaries. Because another big issue is like constantly getting texts or emails or calls from the athletes that I have at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, because that's when they work out or in their different time zone or whatever. And like the only way I could communicate with them before was directly off of my text messages or phone calls. So getting phone calls in the middle of the time when I'm actually at home rarely was like tough on Melissa. So being able to like address all these things in an easy way, I think gives a lot of tools for coaches to feel better and help more people, but also make more money, be more scalable, and have a way where 100% of the time you dedicate isn't the only way you're getting compensated. You're getting compensated for your skill set and your knowledge, and being able to streamline that and give that to more people at a better price point, you get to help more people. So everything about it, I think, kind of addresses a lot of the bottlenecks of the industry.
I think so, and it's nice, like you say, to get paid for your skill set and not just for that hour session in front of you and being in front of a client. Like, I think that is a huge piece of online training that I love. But I also noticed, like, when I transitioned from being in the gym, working for 24-hour fitness, Lifetime, independent studios, to then transitioning full-time online, I missed the in-person training. That's why I started taking clients in here, like in the home gym, is because I missed that real personal connection that is so hard to emulate online. But also, like, I still remember carrying around my clipboard in the gyms, writing down the workouts, because back then, like, there's still software. I still used it for my online clients, but like when you're actually in the gym, it's so inconvenient that I still just used classic pen and paper and would carry around one of those fucking clipboards that you could open up and have all your extra sheets in there and your little tape measure to take measurements like whenever clients needed them. And like, I'm just walking around the gym with a clipboard that I'm like chucking to the side every time we got to a new station. And like, that was how I fucking programmed workouts back in the day.
And that's how a lot of people still program workouts. And and there's pros and cons to that, but like, I don't know, when I think about what I need out of the ability to adapt programming, like the reason pen and paper works so well is because you can do it like on the spot. Mm-hmm. And be able to change, like, because you never know like what the variables are going to the session of the day for you or for your clients. Like, you have to be able to adapt and adjust and be quick when it comes to how we're adapting and changing things, like, and being able to just quickly like pull out an app where you can like with one hand quickly type that in while you also have like, I don't know, your stopwatch going or whatever for your timer for your rest intervals, and being able to quickly and seamlessly be able to enter the data that you need without having to sacrifice a ton when it comes to, I don't know, the experience you're giving your clients in that moment. I think is really powerful because, like you said, sometimes it's just easier to be able to write it down while you're going and be able to continue to have that conversation and have that connection with your clients, and not taking away from that is really important.
Yeah. And I think it got easier too, where, after every session when I was training in person, one of the things I always try to do was review what we had just done and compare it to the week prior and be like, hey, like, you went up on bench press today, we did more reps, or for deadlifts, we went up in weight. And just every single session tried to show somebody the progress that they had made. And that was one of the reasons that I switched to, once I found a software that I liked, programming even my in-person clients, their workouts on the app, and making sure that it just was real easy to call out all those little wins that people accumulated and really just reinforce the fact that they're making progress. Because it's hard to see on a micro scale, but when I can call that out session over session and week over week, then they're like, yeah, I did go up on deadlifts in this one today. So even though we didn't go up over here, like, we're still making progress. And I think people really appreciated that. And definitely, like, merging kind of that online world and in-person world allowed me to do that better.
And it's just, I don't know, and the more data we can give to our clients to help them feel supported in their journey and all the little steps that they make, is a huge difference for them. And the more we can get people feeling good, and the more we can make them feel confident, and the more we can make them feel strong, any way we can communicate that is a great outcome for our clients and for you as a coach. It's fun to be able to, like, shout out your clients, or tell the people that you care about, like, how much your clients are improving too, and having that just be available and being able to see, like, hey, like, these are the people that I care about and I spend so much time with and they're kicking ass, is like an awesome way to feel about, like, how you spend your time and how you give back to the world, and give back to the people that give so much to you. And being able to have something that you get to make them feel good quickly and efficiently is just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool feeling, especially when somebody comes to you and talks about, like, the wins that they had outside of the gym, feeling strength with, carrying groceries or picking up their kids, or even just going for a walk and being out of aches and pains. Like, that's what it's really about, I think. But like you mentioned, being able to show a lot of care for your clients. We have to spend a lot of time with them as trainers, sometimes more than, friends and family in their lives. And I think that care is what's really hard to take from the in-person space and then bring online. And so I think that was really, at least for me, the big impetus for the lab was how do I make sure that I am connecting with my clients on a deep level, but also balancing that with the fact that I want to scale, and I want to be able to not only scale, like, financially, but scale the impact that I can have on people. And that's going to come from being able to work with a lot of people. And that was something that, I've used a bunch of different apps over the years, worked for a bunch of different companies, and never felt like I got the best blend of, like, okay, I like the way that workouts are created and delivered to my clients, and also the client management side is clean, it's easy, it has a system that I can use to manage my clients effectively without feeling like it's all manual, like you said, where it's like I'm texting them, I'm calling them. Also, some of them are messaging me on an app, and some of them are just commenting on their workouts within the app. And it's like I have like 5 different places to check to manage my clients, and this sucks. It's crazy inefficient. So I think that was probably, at least for me, like, when I started building the software, I was like, I just want to be able to have one hub to understand what my clients need and what my communications need to look like. And if I can do that, then I can scale. Like, then I can make more money, then I can have more time, and most importantly, I can help a larger number of people. And I know that was even attractive to you as somebody whose primary business is in person, and being able to bring that even into Factum as an option for creating like a better ecosystem in person as well.
Yeah, and the more, I don't know, the thing that I feel like I was missing out the most on before I started doing more online training, first of all, I was like that traditional trainer that, like, I still believe like the most important thing you can do as a coach is spend time with your clients, coaching them, touching them, communicating with them, and providing an amazing session. The second most important part is holding them accountable and actually coaching them and making sure that they feel good and that they feel heard and that they're taken care of. And I work with a lot of JUCO kids, a lot of baseball kids that go to like middle of nowhere Kansas, Iowa, Colorado, Wyoming, and they want to keep getting better. And like, I don't want to like bash on strength coaches at the JUCO level because those guys wear 100 different hats and are trying to figure out how they're going to run baseball practice and try and be a strength and conditioning coach and be a recruiter and trying to find funding for these guys. They're wearing a lot of different hats. And because of that, a lot of times their programming kind of goes on the wayside. And being able to provide something that is efficient but also specified very quickly to help take care of those guys the 9 months a year they're not with me, and trying to help them get better and feel better and perform better is something that I've seen a huge difference with the app, and something I think I really lacked. And I think it's actually really helped a lot of my clients be able to continue to progress and still feel connected to me in a way that is way more efficient for my business. Especially like when I look at like the number of text messages and things I get a day, like you said, like I imagine most trainers and coaches get so many texts. To be able to just like have it all in one place where you're checking once or twice a day and you're able to just get it done and make sure everyone's taken care of, and then keeping that a little bit separate so you're in that same zone, and then having something that flows so quickly and effortlessly to be able to continue to take care of your people, and you get it done just so much more quickly than bouncing back and forth between all these different questions and ideas. It just helps you keep organized and kind of in that flow of like, hey, I'm programming, I'm communicating, I'm checking in. And it just makes it so much simpler than trying to be everything all at once,
Yeah. Yeah. And I used to struggle even just managing like 20 clients online, especially in terms of the communication with it just being in so many different places and wondering, like, and not having it match up, like in terms of if a client completed a workout, I want to respond to that, but also they sent me a message over here. So when they sent me a message, was it before the workout? Was it after the workout? Did they need help with the workout? Like, are they giving me feedback for the workout? And it's like when it's spread out all over the place, like then I'm checking multiple different areas to get a feel for how I need to communicate back to this person in a way that's actually helpful. And so I think that was the biggest thing for me, was putting that in house, but then also really organizing it around fundamental touch points for the client, around certain activities that they do to make sure that if I'm responding to those things, I'm giving them a high level of communication. I'm giving them something that feels and is personal and genuine and custom, but I can do it in a more time efficient way. Because now that I have that and found a system and then built it into a software, I can manage double the amount of clients in like half the time, and so I'm saving time and energy for me while still giving my clients the communication that makes them feel heard and feel connected. Like, I mean, obviously I care about their programs, but they need to feel that too. And they need to know that I'm paying attention, that I'm reviewing what they did and getting feedback from them, that I'm turning around and using that feedback. And so that's really what I set out to do, again, to build a lab. Like, I just wanted one dashboard that was like, bro, if you work through this once or twice a day, and really probably twice, I do it twice, if not more, but usually just twice, and I can manage 40 clients in like a half an hour per day, at least in terms of my communications, because everything is organized for me. Like, if they send me a message, I know where it is. If they complete a workout, I can get to it quickly and ask for some feedback. If they miss a workout, like, it's flagged and I can shoot them a message to see what's up. And then of course, if they need programming, like, I know with enough time to get it in. And I've found through years of online training, I'm like, if I am ruthlessly consistent around those key points, those key buckets of client activity, then I'm going to win. I'm going to really be able to establish a high level connection that's going to keep people around. And I think that's really what has led to my retention being so good, being 70, 80% plus. Like, if my retention is at 70%, then I'm like, I got to fix something here, because this is low for me and really in the industry. Like, that's high.
Yeah, especially in the online space.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all just because I follow that system. And I'm like, if I do this in the morning and make sure that I'm touching base with people right away, right after, you know, the morning crowd hits their workouts, or the late night crowd did their workouts the previous day, and then I'm following up again later in the day, then I'm gonna win, you know, and I'm gonna be able to again give my clients that personal touch. But then for me, it's like it's 15 minutes in the morning, it's 15 minutes in the evening, and I'm good. And
Yep.
like the rest of the day, I can focus on programming, on the service part of it that I need to like be able to block out some time for. But when the communication is scattered and systemless, then I'm spending the whole day trying to just piece it together.
Yeah, especially with the number of clients you have, like 40 people is crazy to try and manage that normally. But I don't know, when you get the system, like, I don't know, like last night you were talking about how, like, we so frequently have these systems with our training, with our sessions, with our periodization. We have all these key systems as trainers that we know work, and we know, hey, like, we need to get our warm up, and we need to do our power and plyometrics. We need to get our strength work, and we need to get our auxiliary work, and we need to get a little conditioning. We got a lot of things we got to get done in an hour session, and we are so systematized and so efficient with that. But when it comes to communication, when it comes to a lot of trainers, when it comes to business or sales or lead generation, a lot of times we lose the sight of the fundamentals that help us produce results and the thing that we're most passionate about, and we kind of lose sight of like how we can take those same methodologies and apply them to the other aspects of our business and get more freedom back and get more of our time back and get the ability to help more and more people. And I think the other thing I really, really love about our app is like along those lines is how efficient the workout builder is. Like how natural it feels when you are programming to like have like little shortcuts, like pressing enter adds another set to the tabs, the how efficient. I personally use a Surface Pro, so I like type and I have a screen and I'll just tap 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 tap, and like I can get my programming done almost as fast as if I just hit 4x8s, and I get way more specified with exactly what I want. I get to add notes, I get to add form videos, I get to add communication, and it allows my clients to feel empowered to also give me more feedback on how things are actually going. Because like when I only sent out like texts or whatever, like I'd always follow up and send texts and ask how things went, and then they might say one or two things like, yeah, it went fine, like, or like, yeah, like I missed this or whatever. Versus I get to see how every single set of every single rep went, and I get to record that and I get to analyze that. And like the quality of that interaction increases so much from such a simple thing. And I just think that's such a awesome part of how smooth the entire system is. Also, like the AI stuff, which I don't know if we should talk about too much, but I just think it's so fucking cool. I know coaches out there have their 16-week programs, they have their 12-week, they have, some of you might have 12-month-long programs that you've built over years and years and years and years, and you don't sign up for online because you don't want to have to reprogram and like retype and re-signify and put in every set and rep for hundreds of clients, especially of those of you that like run strength programs and stuff, and you have, you know, an entire freshman class or an entire 2 or 3, 4 teams, and you have these complex, in-depth programs, and you're like, yeah, none of these things can like make this like so I can track this and analyze these at all. JT in his brilliance created this AI system where we are able to take those programs and just drag and drop it, and it will like automatically filter into like your programs. And if it doesn't know what something is, it'll let you know, but it is so dang accurate and so dang efficient that it just constantly will keep track and keep updating. And so those of you that have, you know, your 16-week block for the volleyball team you see at 7 a.m., and then you got your baseball program at 9 a.m., and you have 200 kids in that group, and you need to be able to have that constantly going and organized. you'll be able to keep that all going and rolling and seamlessly be able to upload these massive amounts of programs that I know you're scared to try and get. You can keep all your kids organized, you can keep all your clients organized, and you don't have to just take 6 hours and type every single program back in.
Yeah, this is for you spreadsheet savants, or maybe spreadsheet savages is the right way to put it. But, I've used them in the past, and like I get why it's still so commonplace to use them. But like if you resonate with all the stuff we're talking about the struggles with client communication, and we have these struggles having used a lot of the software that's out there. So I can only imagine if you've been using spreadsheets for years, decades, how you've probably had to build a communication system on your own and try and work your own efficiency into it. And I just can't imagine that it's still as efficient as it could be. And so that's really what we want to help people like that too, and allow you to have a client management system that works better without losing all that programming that you've spent years and decades building. So that's where I may have built it. It was this guy's idea to even do it, but just upload a spreadsheet to our website and it will analyze it for you, understand the supersets, sets, reps, weight, whatever, and then pull it into our workout builder or our program builder so you can keep your programming with little to no effort, but add in that client management side. And I think that's so key because, there's so many coaches out there whose programming is just exceptional. But if you don't also communicate with your clients at the high level that your programming is, your programming for some of those clients may not matter. If you're training exclusively athletes who don't really care to, communicate with you, which is the case sometimes, they're like, I just need to work out, and if you make me better at my sport, that's all I care about. Like, you're going to have those people, but most people want to have a connection to their coach, even athletes, of course. And if you're able to do both at a high level, and again, your communication is able to match the world class that your programs are, your business is going to be so much healthier, your retention is going to be higher, and your athletes or Gen Pop people are going to get better results because it's not just about the program anymore. It's about the relationship that they have with their coach, the accountability that provides. And so we want to just really make it easy for coaches who've been in that spreadsheet world for so long to use some software that can bring all the technology advantages that has without losing the fact that you've got loads and loads of programs that are still on Google Sheets or whatever. Like, we don't want you to lose that, but we do want you to have, the ability to communicate with your clients at a higher level.
And being able to still customize and change and personalize these massive programs. Like, if you have a template, like, it's still so easy to go in and like change the couple variables you need to change for everybody to make it special for them. But you also know what the big rocks are, and you know how this needs to look and feel and progress. And it's just very simple to be able to do all those things. And I know every trainer in the world fundamentally probably hates technology and like any concept of having to use anything like that. I know a lot of coaches are like, team, like, let's just still keep using the clipboard and paper for like 35 years, which is fine to an extent, but like there's only so far that will take you. And we wanted to create that feel and that just experience that you're able to give to your clients with that customization, that feel, that feedback, as much as we possibly can over software where your people are taken care of, your programming and what you're really great at and what you're really great at, you can focus on that. You don't have to be out there doing 100 different things. You don't have to be out there trying to be everything for everyone. And if you're one of those coaches that does do that for everybody, that's great. But like, what we want you to be able to do is focus on the big rocks, make people feel heard, make people feel like they are cared about, cared for, and you're making the best workouts you can possibly make for the most amount of people possible. And, that's going to be the things that get them results, and they're going to get you results.
Yeah, I think so, dude. And I mean, that's an evolution that I've gone through personally too, because when I first got into the industry, like, I got into it because because I loved learning about exercise science. Like I was overweight, and as I tried to start losing weight, like I knew I needed to work out. I knew I needed to eat healthier. And so I just started diving into everything I could to learn how to do that on my own. And I really did fall in love with the fitness side of that first. But I thought at the time, and this is just for me, it didn't work out that way for me, that I also needed to do nutrition. I also needed to not just do strength training, but corrective exercise. And then I needed to take mindset certifications and do all these things in order to be a well-rounded coach for my clients. And as you said, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that can work for a lot of coaches, but it didn't work for me. And I got kind of lost in doing all those other things when really like workout programming was my love. That's what I enjoyed doing the most. And honestly, I fucking hate doing nutrition with clients. Like I use workouts now as a way to like get them in the ecosystem, taking care of themselves. And then when they approach me about nutrition, it's like, all right, I know you're ready for this. And you're willing to do the work. But for most people, they say they want to do nutrition because they know it's important, and it is. Nobody really wants to change their eating habits. Like that shit sucks. So I found myself like, that's a really big challenge, and kudos to you coaches out there who take on that challenge and do well with it. But it wasn't for me. And it took me away from doing the thing that I love the most. And so I eventually I just circled all the way back to like, I don't want my service to be built around anything other than the workout programming that I do. Like I want that to be the service so I can stay within my zone of genius and help people the way that I'm best at. But also I still need the connection piece. That piece of it can't go. I can get rid of nutrition and lifestyle habits and all these other things. And granted, like no matter what, you're always going to be a part of that with your clients. But I think just maybe not putting it on the back burner, but not offering it as the core of my service, allow them to come to me with that when they're ready and they're ready to put in the work, which took a lot of friction out. And also didn't make them feel like a failure when I was like, hey, we're also going to track food and water and sleep. And they say yes because they know it's important, but they don't really want to do it. And then they don't. And then they're like, well, I sucked this week. And it's like, yeah, I guess you're right. But like maybe we're just doing a little bit too much. And so it was frustrating for me. And again, it took me away from what I loved. So I really just circled all the way back around to like exercise is what got me into it. Exercise is what I still love. I love writing strength and conditioning programs for my clients. Like, why am I getting away from that? Like, let me just hone in on that. And so that's really what we built the software around, was like selfishly what we wanted for ourselves. Like, I want to take what I believe to be the best workouts in the world. I want to build them easily on a software. I want to get them to my client in a sleek app. And then I want to be able to communicate with them about those workouts and about whether or not they are getting them done or not, and what they like about them fast and efficiently. And if I can do those things, like I'm just going to be a happy camper as a coach.
And going back to the things that are consistent, like my grandmother, I went and visited here recently, and she was talking about how she's very into science and she works for Rice. She has her doctorate in nuclear physics. She's like way, way smarter than I'll ever be. And
yeah, I just got dumber just listening to that.
Yeah, she's brilliant. So she pays attention to these things. And she made an interesting comment. She was like, my entire life, people have been preached to and talked to about this diet hack, this sleep hack, this like you need to fast, you don't need to fast, eggs are good, eggs are bad, whole fat milk versus low fat milk. And she talks about how these diet trends have consistently gone crazy for her entire life. And she's like, do you know what the one thing that's never changed is? You need to exercise. And you need to exercise regularly, and you need to strength train. And I think it's easy for us to get kind of caught up as like people in this industry and the industry itself. You're trying to figure out how you can separate yourself from all these other coaches. You're trying to be competitive in a very competitive industry. Because let's be real, being like a coach or a trainer is like the best job in the world. Like you get to help people all day. You get to have these long connections with people. You get to change their lives for such a long period of time. And I don't know, I have athletes I started coaching in like 7th, 8th grade that are going off into college and graduating college now, that I saw 5-6 hours a week for their entire lives, and I have these such these ingrained, amazing connections with these young people. I got to have a huge influence on their life. And that is such a beautiful thing. And because everybody wants to be able to do that, like you feel this pressure to be competitive and try and like beat everybody out and try and do more and more and more, because you think, hey, like my care, my workouts, my expertise isn't as much as this person or this influencer or these people that are working with these clients. And like, man, they have these crazy businesses and they charge these insane rates, and like you feel this pressure that you have to do so much more than what you're actually just really good at, which is plenty. Like you really need to care about people. You want them to be heard. You need to get them results. And honestly, like if you get people just exercising and doing the fundamental things, they're gonna be a lot healthier, so much healthier. And you know, as people progress through their lifestyle habits and changes, you know, there's a certain point where you can start having those conversations. And shout out to my nutritionist, our sports nutritionist at Factum, Francisco, because when you get to that point, I can just say, hey, talk to this guy, he's way smarter than me, and I don't have to deal with that crap, because I don't want to deal with people's nutrition. Because like you said, no one likes to do it. People think they know right or wrong, or they have no idea at all. But everyone knows what it feels like to feel strong, what it feels like to get a good workout in, and to feel better day to day. And that's the part I want to focus on. And I feel like we've created something to help you feel like that more, help your clients feel like that more, and still like help you maybe do some of the things that you're trying to get out of those things that you're seeing all these other people do, where they have more money, where they have more time, where you see them working with these these clients that are like these like high-end clients. You'll have the ability to kind of reach more and more people, and you have more free time and scale your business and not be so tired. And still, if you're a coach and you still want to be in person, still fill that bucket of your joy and fulfillment, but like also have enough left in your cup to be able to go home to your family and talk to your wife or talk to your husband, talk to your kids, and be able to have fun with them, and you know, not be exhausted because you got up at 4:30 in the morning for the 6 o'clock class, and then worked all day, then skipped your workout to try and catch up with your programming and calls and connections and sales, and then went straight into another session, and then finished up with the evening group after work. So you leave, you know, you're getting to work before everybody else even wakes up, and then you're getting home after everyone's done with dinner, you know, and that's a very common thing for trainers. And I think we've added a tool where you can choose to say no to some of the things that are taking way too much. And you can focus on the big things to be able to help you give to your family, to give to yourself, to give to your business.
Yeah. Yeah. I think getting rid of that noise is helpful. And I just know, like, I think one of my hesitations of taking my business and stripping it down and getting rid of the nutrition coaching, like not making that a focus, making that something that the client came to me for when they were ready, but really just making the upfront like service delivery about the workouts and exercise for the client. Like I think one of my fears of doing that is what you're saying. Like the industry was telling us like that if you're going to be successful as a coach, if you're going to be able to build a business that retains clients, that gives you financial freedom, like you need to do everything. And that led to a lot of hesitation for me of like, well, like, can I strip this down and just do what I want, like, and what I want to focus on? And you can, you know, if you really dial in at being exceptional in one thing, the value you bring to your clients can be unparalleled. And the truth is that when somebody is fit, it changes their life so powerfully that it doesn't matter if they do anything else, or that if you help them with anything else. Like you can change their lives so dramatically just from exercise that like you don't need to do more if you don't want to. And so I think eventually I got around to having the confidence in that idea to kind of strip my business down to what I wanted it to be. But understand that like there's this message in the industry that you got to be high ticket and you've got to have, you know, the all-in-one offering. And you just don't. Like exercise is so impactful. And like you said, being a personal trainer is fucking cool. I can wear this and nobody's gonna give me shit over it. And I can dress the way that I fucking want, which is pajamas, basically. And like nobody's gonna say a word. And like it's not obviously just about being able to wear sweats all day. It's about the impact we can have on people. But I think I really want to get the message out that being just a personal trainer is cool and it has a massive impact, and you don't have to do everything else. So I think that ultimately that's our goal, and we just want to build the tools to help trainers do that at a really high level and in a way that doesn't burn them out, in a way that gives them time back for themselves and for them family, or to scale your business even more. If you want to take that time and grind some more, like let's fucking go with that too. And so I think that's ultimately our goal with the lab, and hopefully that resonates with everybody out there, and we can make a cool fucking ripple effect in this industry. So thanks for tuning in. If you made it this long, we'll create more content, not just about us and why we built this, but how we can help personal trainers from our experience, about what can make you a good personal trainer, what can make you a great exercise scientist, how you can more specifically communicate and connect with your clients. And so, we're gonna spend time in this channel really diving into that stuff to help you be the best possible personal trainer and strength coach that you can be.
Then guess.